Hey everybody, this is Melissa. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. And if you haven't done so already, I'd really appreciate it if you take just a quick second and click on that subscribe button. That way, you'll be the first to know when I upload a new tutorial. I'm so excited you're all here, so let's go ahead and get started. So today I'm going to show you how to create a form in Google Docs. So once you're logged into your Google account, if you go over to Google Apps, scroll down and go to Docs, it'll bring us here. Now we have some templates and a template gallery that we can choose from, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create a blank document from scratch. So let's go ahead and click on it. And then it's going to bring up our workspace. Now from here, we want to go to File, New, Form. And the first thing that we want to do is give our form a title. So this one, let's say we're doing an employee appreciation lunch. Okay. Now the form description, let's say that this is due back to us by the 25th of March. So I'm going to go ahead and say must be returned by 3/25/2021. Okay. Now we're going to tab. And now it's going to take us to our question area. And the first thing we need to know is the employee's first name. First name, and I'm going to put a colon in there. And Google's going to try to guess what it is that you want the field to be. And in this case, it is a short answer. But if we do our drop down, we can do a paragraph or a long answer, multiple choice, check boxes, drop downs, and things like that. But we're going to leave this one as a short answer. And this field is required. So let's go ahead and make it required. Now, the next thing is going to be last name. We can hit our plus here and we can add a new question. But since it's similar, if we duplicate it, we can just change this to last name. Okay? And the next thing we're going to ask is department. And it's going to be a short answer. So let's go ahead and duplicate it and do department. So the next thing we're going to ask them is what they want to eat. So let's go ahead and add a new question here. And we're going to ask them what type of meat. And it defaults to multiple choice, and that's okay, but I want to do a drop down because I don't want it to be a big long form because I have 3 or 4 different types of meat they can choose from and sides and things like that. So let's do a drop down. And it's going to ask us what should option 1 be. And let's say it's chicken. If we hit enter, option 2 is beef, enter. Option 3 is fish, enter. And let's make option 4 none. And let's say this field is required. Now we can do the same thing that we did up here, and we can duplicate this question. However, with our drop downs being different, I would probably just go ahead and create a new one, depending on the number of drop downs I'm going to have. So for this one, we're going to say sides. And it's got multiple choice, but we're going to do a drop down. Option 1, I don't know, let's say we're having mac and cheese. Yay! Now if I could just type, we'll get through this. And we're going to hit enter. And let's say we're having a baked potato. Okay. And this field is required. Now the next thing we want to ask them is, what time are you coming? So let's go ahead and add a question. And let's put time of attendance. Now, it's going to assume we're putting in a time, and I get it because the word time is right in the question. But what I want to do is I'm going to give them check boxes. They've got 3 times they can choose from. Option 1, 11 a.m., enter. Option 2, 12 p.m., enter. Option 3, 1 p.m. And this field is required. Now we have one more question to ask, so let's go ahead and click on Add Question. And let's just put in here, please specify any food allergies here. Okay, and it's set it as a paragraph with a long answer text, and that is perfectly okay. That's what we want it to be. And I'm not going to make this field required. So now let's go up to the top and let's preview our form. See what it looks like. This is great. Except for one thing, and I did this on purpose. We put a colon here, but we didn't here. So we need to decide, do we want the colon or do we not? So let's X out of here. And if we go back to our first field, let's just say I don't want that in there. And I'm just going to take it out. And it's going to automatically save it. So let's go to our preview. And now it's gone, and I think that looks better. So let's close out of here. Now we can customize our form. If we go up here to customize theme, let's choose a header for it. And there's some built-in pictures that you can use within Google Docs. Let's go to food and dining. Oh, let's use this one. That one looks cool. And then it puts it at the top of your form. Now we can change the theme color, which is going to change this here and the required button colors and things like that. But I kind of liked it where it was, so I'm going to go ahead and leave it. We can also change the background. So we can go here. That looks pretty good. I like this one the best, so let's do it that way. And we can also change the font. Let's say we want it to be playful because it's a employee appreciation luncheon. We can do it like that. Or let's just say we want it to be basic, which is what I'm going to do with this one. So let's go ahead and X out of here, and let's preview it again. And this looks great. It actually has the title, and then it has it must be returned, and then it lets them know anything that has an asterisk beside it has to be filled out. So our drop downs look great. And it done what it was supposed to do. It says, hey, you have to answer this question. Our sides look great. Check boxes, perfect. Everything looks great. So let's X out of here. Now, if we go to send up here, we have several ways that we can send this. We can send it via email and collect email addresses and include the form in the email. We can send it via a link, and we can shorten the URL if we want, or we can embed it into, say, a website page that we've created, and this is the HTML code. We can send it via Facebook, or we can send it via Twitter. Okay? So let's go ahead and get out of here. So once that is sent, your responses are going to come back here. So if we go to responses, they'll start showing up. Now, one thing that you can do in here is, we set a deadline by 3/25. So let's say we get to 3/26, we can turn this off and it's no longer accepting responses. Okay? Some other things that we can do is we can create a Google Sheet or a spreadsheet that has all of our data in it in case we need to do more analysis. So it'll export right into a Google Sheet. And we can tell it create a new sheet or select an existing spreadsheet. We can also tell it how we want to be notified, tell it where to send responses, and download it to a CSV in case you want to import it into another program outside of Google Sheets or Google Docs. So one last thing I want to show you is if we go to Settings, under General, we can tell it to collect email addresses. We can limit their responses to 1. We can let them edit it after they submit it if they change their mind. And we can see summaries of our progress and the number of responses that we've got and things like that. Presentations, we can have a progress bar. We can shuffle the question order. We can send them back a confirmation that says your response has been received and recorded. If we're dealing with quizzes, we can say this is a quiz, and we can release grades. We can do stuff manually. We can tell them how many questions that they've missed, the correct points values, and things like that. So if you're using it for any kind of like homeschooling or education purposes, that would come in really handy. And that is how you create a form in Google Docs. If you found this video helpful, please be sure to like it, subscribe to my channel, and get notified. And I'll be back tomorrow with another tutorial. Thanks so much for watching.